Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone around the world who is in a different time zone than me. I'm working today in the worm room. It's Farmer Jill, Worm Farmer Jill today, working on growing my own food. Not that I haven't always been working on that, but we are going full force now that we have some medical things we have to deal with. Namely, one called celiac. Now, I was sick years ago and just did research online, graduated from college, pre-med degree, and once I knew a little bit, I'm telling you, a little bit about the body when you go through pre-med, I did graduate with honors, so that's not, this is so wet. Then bin number 3, I fed them a lovely lot of food, and one, I have an infestation of gnats, so we'll see what we're going to have to put out some traps for them this soon. So there was all these, somebody put some cut flowers in the trash where all the food was, so I just put the cut flowers on the top. I'll go ahead and stick them, I suppose. No, I don't even want to put them in the bin. I will move these out to the outside to complete breaking down outside. But they did get to go in and clean off the food. They loved this. The Europeans did here, but it's just so super darn wet. So you see this mess on top, and it's just really glossy. There's still a lot of food in it. The gnats were able to lay their eggs, so now I'm gonna have a huge gnat problem. However, when they hatch, what I do, I just shut the door in here. So this bin on the bottom, it's not crazy bad, thank you. The last 2 bins have been so super saturated wet that I've had to transfer them into another bin, and that's probably what I'm going to do with this bin as well. So I went out and I got some more leaves from wonderful people who collect their leaves and then put them on the curb. I go to the curb when I see several bags stacked up and load them into my van. And so this, if anybody from in town is watching and you have put your leaves out on the curb and somebody grabbed them, maybe it was me, and here is what I am using them for. This bin is not too moist. It's getting there, so I'm going to put this leaf layer on the bottom, so it's going to soak up moisture. I like to put these together, so, and then midway here I'll put a little bit of, that's an apple, a little bit of alternate now that there's no real, there's not a whole lot of food left. Alternate, there's not a risk really of it getting really hot and heating up. There's just not a whole lot of food left. Now the other thing that I should probably be doing is feeding, say, maybe on the side, below, maybe feeding more often. I really don't want to go in and feed here every couple days. That is, in my opinion, going to be way too much effort. So I don't think I want to do that. Feeding on the top. What I'm going to have to do is just come up with a plan to get these gnats under control after they've been laid in that, they'll lay those eggs in that food. I don't know what the temperature, these gnats, if I can get them down, I will. I'm going to shut the door. I'm going to let it get cold in here so the gnats aren't flying around. And I will tell you this, on the floor I have billions and billions of dead gnats. So So I was figuring that perhaps these gnats die in the cold. I don't know if they just get cold and can't get to food or what, but hopefully once these hatch out, then be able to trap them. I take little, make the tubs. I put some of my homemade wine in the tub and then poke the holes on the top with some surfactant, like Dawn dish soap in the wine, just a drop, just to break the surface tension. And maybe with wine, I wouldn't even have to do that. I know they say if you use vinegar, then you add some, maybe that's the toxin that ends up killing them. The surfactant. I don't know. Lots and lots of things I don't know. I wish I knew. I wish I had the time to research to find out. If anybody knows and they're just hanging out watching videos on this wonderful winter day, we have got a snowstorm out there, and I don't know how many inches, 5 to 8 inches maybe were expected, possibly. Here's one thing I don't like about cocoa coir. I'm seeing a lot of dust in the air. And I'll be breathing that in. But I want to down that moisture level a little bit. I'll put some cardboard shavings in here too. Just a little bit. We'll see what happens. Oh my goodness. So let's see how I turn them. So far this bedding's really coming apart easy. So I'd like to know whether that's my bedding recipe or is that just a moisture issue. That's what I gotta figure out. In the future, I will be able to research all of this. Right now, I'm just trying to get these numbers. Oh, sorry. I have disrupted them there. Maybe that's, if you disrupt them when they're mating, maybe that's when they detach. Maybe that's what that means. I don't know. I thought originally I was killing them. I'm not. So much that I have to get done yet. It's getting overwhelming. I'm sure. I mean, I realize I'm like, oh, it's just January, but believe me. January turns into February, turns into March, and then you're April, and it's rock and roll, and you're behind, and you're like, where did all that time go that you thought you had? So. I just wanted to get started. Multiplying my herd numbers. For right now, I realize that I may not be doing it the most efficient way, but at least I'm doing it. My goal here for this channel is baby steps, and maybe eventually we will get there. Oh no. Don't know. I give it a shot. And so if you guys want to watch me fail, save some money, and then I can tell you what I did that worked well and what didn't, and then you can wait and do it then. But I will say at that point, when I'm no longer learning, I'll just have to slap on a consultant fee here. That bin is basically complete. I need to add some more. I feel like cardboard and probably some more cocoa coir where I'm going to be putting the food this time around. And these are getting kind of so full. I'm going to go ahead and bring in, I've got two very, very large, they're tanks, they're water tanks, livestock tanks. And that is going to be my grow out bins. But I wanted to keep these girls on as much heat as possible while they still had plenty of room here in their bins. And we'll keep laying these cocoons, because if I get these cocoons and I put some in my continuous bins over there, and there's no heater under those continuous bins, so what happened is those cocoons have not hatched yet. I suppose it's just going to take longer. So that's why I've decided if I just leave them in this bin, breeder bin, for a little while longer, then they will at least be hot enough to hatch those cocoons faster. And as long as I'm not maxed out on space here, I'm going to go ahead and keep cranking out while I'm in these bins. And there's some cute little teeny tiny leaves in here. I feel like those are really going to do some absorbing on the moisture. My bin is kind of woohoo. I'm not going to want these little wormies crawling out, so I keep adding bedding, and I'm going to have to add something that's going to dry it out a little better than what it is. Okay, that bin is complete with food, correcting the moisture. We can add the lid and get back to it. Another bin. I'm going to need to do a lot more work on my feeding. What I'm going to do to prevent these gnats. And it may be that I just chill the temperature down in here. It's 65 in here. So maybe if I can make it cold, they can't fly around and get in these tanks and lay eggs. Okay. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you'll come back and spend the day with me here at the worm room, where we're trying to figure this all out.